And welcome back to Morning Talk. You're listening to KSVC 980 AM and 100.5 FM. Porter Huntsman and Dylan Nilsson alongside with you this morning, and it is time now for our radio roundup interview for today. And this morning we are joined by Eric Thorsen with the CTE Center, as well as a multitude of students. I name y'all, but it'd take half the interview time. So we appreciate all of you taking the time to hop in studio and join us this morning.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, we're glad to have you on. And so, Mr. Thorsen, what is the difference about the Engineering Capstone course?
Yeah, so today we brought our seniors from our Engineering Capstone course at the CTE. And Engineering Capstone, a lot of people think immediately to, for example, being an intern at an engineering firm or something. Mm-hmm. And what we have is this course. It's a great opportunity. We'll have students go be an intern at a local engineering firm, and that's a great experience. But in that experience, they're watching engineers perform things. There's some, an assistant, maybe aside to the project. In the Engineering Capstone course, they are the leads. They are the ones running into the problems. They are the ones that need to persevere through the frustrations of the unknowns. And it's just a great experience. We have a great group. The reason I brought all these seniors is they have just been a phenomenal group of future engineers, and we're excited to have them move on to their careers.
All right. And I believe what we wanted to do today is kind of talk to each one of these groups about their projects. And so we'll get started with Coleman Thorsen and Blake Forsyth here. And first off, tell us what your project is that you worked on this year.
And you're probably going to have to bend down. My goodness, you're a giant.
Yeah, this microphone's a little short, and we're all standing around here. But yeah, so what we wanted to make was an indoor discus in batting cage. So, when you play spring sports, it's a lot of rain, a lot of snow, a lot of wind, and you can't always practice outside. And, you get tired of coming inside and doing drills and stuff like that. So what we wanted to do was make an indoor cage where you could come inside and hit baseballs or throw discus or do whatever you needed to without, hurting the inside of your school. So we just made a cage made out of netting that you can retract it into the ceiling for when you're not using it. And we tested it. It works. Coleman didn't break it, thankfully. So it worked pretty well.
All right. So what challenges did you run into that you didn't expect?
Well, it's connected to the ceiling, and we're both pretty big people, so I think the hardest time was when we're both standing on the ladder trying to attach metal bars to the ceiling. Mm-hmm. That was a little sketchy, but we made it work and didn't fall on our heads.
And
right.
The school was okay with you permanently modifying their gymnasium?
Surprisingly, yes.
So what is the best thing that you guys were able to learn during the course of this project?
I would say just figuring out the design process in there, working through the problem solving for anything that comes up.
Mm-hmm. All right, and the best thing you learned not to do while you were working on it?
Don't put two 250-pound people on a ladder.
That seems like pretty good advice.
Yeah. All right, appreciate your comments there. Let's go to Jack Barnett, Parker Busk, and Jagger Coleman here. Looks like, first off, tell us about your project, what you guys worked on.
So our project was we wanted to design a bell tower to permanently hold our victory bell for the football games. Mm-hmm. So original idea, our coach Jim Monson came to us and he said he wanted to get rid of our bell because it takes up a lot of room in the track shed that we could have stuff. So we designed a bell tower to have a more permanent spot for it, just so we'll have more room in the track shed and stuff, and like get new traditions at the school, ring it after state championships, just to be super cool and improve school spirit and stuff.
All right. What challenges did you guys run into that you weren't expecting along the way?
So with our first design, the structure of it wasn't entirely stable. So what we had to do is we went to Jones & Mill and asked for some information, right, trying to get what we could fix this so it could actually be built. And what we've had to do is create 3 different caps, concrete caps on each level since it's a superstructure, right? And so what that does, it creates the force load to go all the way down to the ground so it's stable.
Cool. And what's the best thing you guys were able to learn and take away from the project?
I would say we learned a lot about actually talking to different businesses, different contractors, and realizing what it actually is like in the actual workforce, and just knowing what the effort going through of the process of designing an actual structure, it just prepares us to be more, I guess, mature in a way, but also learn what the real world in the construction company is like in the industry. And it's just pretty cool to learn that that is what everyone has to go through, and it's a cool experience to learn at a young age to be prepared for what we have to hold in the future.
So here's my question. How do you get the bell on top of the tower?
Cranes and stuff. Yeah, so actually, so the bell tower is our like long term what we want.
Okay.
But we actually went and talked to the booster club. Yeah, sorry. So we went and talked to the booster club and gave them a design for a bell pedestal for like a temporary spot for the bell until
Gotcha.
the bell gets built. And that got approved actually. So they gave us that money, and that will be done within the next like 2 months. So we'll have that temporary bell pedestal with the bell on top of it while we wait for the tower to get approved and built.
Perfect.
Right on.
Yeah.
Anything you learned not to do?
Yeah, just going with that like bell pedestal. Don't give up. Like even if like you like, because like by the end of the class, our tower hadn't been like approved. Like we hadn't got our stuff back, but we didn't give up. We went and talked to the booster club, and we got our pedestal approved, so we could have a solution for our problem, even if it wasn't the original solution we wanted.
All right. Well, appreciate you sharing your thoughts with us. Let's head over to Ian Thompson and Grady Christensen here today. First off, what is a trigonometry model?
So we were asked to make a physical mathematical model to help students learn math concepts. So we ended up deciding to do a trigonometry model. So it helps you find the height of a building or whatever when you're looking at a certain angle. And so we designed a model to help showcase that for students who like to learn by seeing stuff. And yeah.
All right. And what challenges did you guys run into along the way that weren't expected when you started?
We had to redesign it many times because we would build it and then it just like would not work.
So what is the goal? What does it look like, and how does it work?
So it's basically you got the base and you take the base length and then you take the height, and then what you do is you take a crank and it raises up a rope changing the hypotenuse length.
Oh, okay.
And so you use the angle at the bottom with little marks, and you can calculate how long the hypotenuse is and how long the side is.
All right. That's cool. Say, what is the best thing you're able to learn and take away from your overall project?
I learned that it's very good to be thorough in what you're doing, because there was a couple of things that we didn't really think about at the start, but you ended up having to think about and design later on, so it's easier to just do it all at the start.
All right. And anything you learned not to do?
Make sure your entire team's helping.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
All right. So don't be a slouch. Yeah. All right. Appreciate you guys sharing your thoughts as well. Let's hop over. It looks like we got Slate Wrights here. We want to know a little bit about, first off, what project you worked on this year.
Yeah, so my project was the jammer box. This jammer box we'll put in the weight room, and it will load the jammers we do, this lift we do in the weight room for football players, track, any field. And this jammer box will just essentially hold the weight Eric could use as like a jump box or anything like that.
All right. And what challenges did you run into?
The challenges we ran into, like these other groups said, the design process was a little bit tricky. It was kind of like a puzzle. You had to put all these pieces together, and that was a little bit tricky itself.
Mm-hmm. And then the best thing you were able to learn or take away?
The best thing I learned was always get other people's opinions. It's very nice to hear from Coach Thorsen, what he thinks, what other people think, and get their feedback.
All right. Did you learn anything that you shouldn't do?
You shouldn't not wear safety goggles in the shop. Always wear safety goggles.
Did you have to learn that the hard way?
A little bit with a little sawdust and stuff.
All right. Well, hey, thanks for sharing.
Yep.
All right, let's jump over to Gage Owens and Stetson Bagley here. And, well, first off, tell us a little bit about the project you worked on.
So our project was a moving advertisement go-kart for the South Sevier High School, so we can sort of just advertise around for people.
All right. What was kind of the idea that made you want to do that?
So the idea was a lot of our friends had previously started working on this project, and we just thought it'd be fun to finish it.
All right. And what challenges did you guys run into?
Most definitely, some of the challenge we ran into is when we got something fixed, something else would break, and as soon as we got that one thing fixed, another thing would break, and it mostly just kept continuing. So we'd have to be fixing a whole lot of things, and we're still working on a pulley system for the belts to keep it going.
So, did you start with a working go-kart, or did you start from a bunch of metal tubing and build up?
Well, it was originally started. We had the engine, we had the transmission, and everything else on it. We just had to get the engine going, up and running. We had to make it so the chain would not fall off when we started driving. So it wasn't running overall, but now it's running-ish.
All right.
Running-ish. All right.
What's the best thing you're able to learn and take away?
So the best thing I think that we learned was just the matter of hard work, and that just the fact that we have to use our minds to make more and more projects and just work harder.
All right. And what is the things you learned not to do? I think I heard you whispering about it over here.
Probably most definitely not give up on working on your project.
And wanting just to throw it out the window and go buy one.
We considered that odd many times.
All right. Well, appreciate you sharing, and good luck with finishing up the project.
Thank you.
All right, Coach, anything you want to add before we let you go today?
No, just big appreciation for these students who are sharing what they've done. They've done a great job this year. Very impressed and grateful to be a teacher and instructor with the CTE.
All right. Well, again, thank you all for taking the time to hop in studio and join us today.
You're welcome.
That's going to do it for our radio roundup interview for today here on Morning Talk.